wondering what it's doing there. Somehow something deep inside of her knows what to do with this. She picks it up, draws a door on the side of her bedroom wall, which I've gotten Facebook images or Twitter images from parents saying, thanks a lot. And the door opens and she goes into this Narnia-like realm. So here comes the talk. 4 years ago, my wife and I had just had our first child, a baby girl. And I was working remotely at the time as a concept designer for a film company in California. My job was to help film directors define the visual look and feel of their projects as they went into production. We'd recently bought a home in Massachusetts to be closer to family as we started one of our own. And we had just returned home from the dealership with a brand new car when the phone rang. It was a coworker from California. Disney had shut down the studio overnight. With a new family to support, I was 3,000 miles away from the industry that supported me. So what to do? I needed to switch gears, to find a new line of work, something that would build upon my skills without having to move all the way back to the West Coast. A job that was fulfilling, but most importantly, steady and secure. So I chose to be a children's book. Looking back, probably not the wisest of choices. In the world of commercial illustration, children's books remains one of those don't quit your day jobs professions. Rarely the sole means of income for the authors and illustrators that make them. But sometimes when our back is against the wall, when we've got nothing to lose, we can open up to taking risks we've never thought imaginable. So I found an agent, I wrote a story, we found a publisher, I met Susanna Richards, and then it was time to make the artwork for the actual book. My training had been in digital artwork, but something always felt missing in the work I did. I was several steps removed from the paper and markers I grew up with each time I picked up my digital tablet. If I was going to do a children's book, to put the time in necessary to craft a story, secure a contract, and make a series of detail-laden images, I wanted to do it right. And that meant doing it, for me, in watercolor. Why watercolor? Well, watercolor is a medium that's full of vitality, openness, and richness of texture and expression. It has a light feel. Its wild energy sits well next to the accompanying pen and ink line work. Like a child's dreamlike perspective on life itself, watercolor leaves room for interpretation. Things haven't fully been defined, and we're invited to fill in the details on our own. And so I embarked on a new journey to teach myself how to use a traditional dip pen for the detailed line work I knew I wanted in my story, and then, of course, to learn watercolor. Friends warned me of the difficulties ahead. Shouldn't I stick to my known proficiencies in the digital realm? After all, watercolor is a tricky medium. Once down on paper, there's no erasing, no covering up. There are hundreds of pigments, paper possibilities, and brushes to explore, all interacting differently depending on brand, the relative amount of water used, and even the humidity on the day you paint. But I pressed forth. I found my favorite pigments, a paper that held its form. I experimented for a while with brushes, settling on a few select favorites. And then I began to paint. My first attempts were terrible. So I selected an image from the book as a testing ground, and I kept painting it over and over and over for an entire summer. At some point, I felt like I was ready to forge ahead. One of my favorite watercolor artists is Bill Watterson. If you know his work from